Yeah, so nami nitaendaje kwa Facebook?
I'm gonna send you the link of the YouTube live video shortly because now I'm live on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Let me send you the link and then you can share it. All right, YouTube. You're live now.
Okay.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you.
So
Let
that
me
one I
also.
can put it on Facebook na tukaiwatch through Facebook, yeah?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Let me also do the same, eh? Let us see here. Hello, hello. Who is there who can see us on YouTube right now? I see 6 people viewing. Jose Kemu. I'm tuning in. Hello there. Josie Kemu is
Yeah.
saying hello to Lydia and me. Hello, Josie. How are you?
Yeah, it took me to YouTube, yeah.
Yes. Did you find it?
He brought me, yeah. He brought me to YouTube instead.
Okay, let's try and do this. Oh, Facebook did me a good one.
I know. Hey, he did you a good one.
Normally we do these shows on Facebook and YouTube, but unfortunately, Facebook gave me a 30 days restriction. But if you're going to be watching this on YouTube for the first time, we always do these shows together, me and Lydia, every Monday
Yeah.
about parenting, starting from 8 p.m. East African time, and
Mhm.
also we do it from 12 p.m. Central Time in America.
Yeah.
So, Lydia, welcome.
Thank you very much.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was, how was it? It was actually busy. It was nice. Yeah. It was busy and nice.
For me, I enjoyed a lot of sports. As you know, I like watching sports, so I was watching a lot of basketball and football. And
Oh.
both my teams that I support,
Mm-hmm.
they ended up winning. So it was a very good weekend for me.
Okay. Okay.
A win for my team means a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not able to do my weekend shows on Facebook because of what happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you still did them on YouTube, right?
On YouTube, I didn't do them because actually on Saturday I had another commitment.
Mm.
I was trying to figure out if Facebook was. I tried begging them and appealing to them so many times. I thought they were going to allow me to do the show.
Those people.
And then
Those people.
on Sunday, that game I'm talking about was playing at that time when I normally do the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd lost like a kind of motivation. So
I can
yeah,
imagine.
my
I
platform
can
that I normally
imagine.
use, it's restricted, and I have a game that I like watching too, and it's playing the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I will do the shows next week on YouTube.
Okay. Because
Yes.
you're still on the jail for what, for 1 month?
Yes, I have 25 more days to go on Facebook before they
Oh
allow me to do
my
the videos.
god. Hey, well,
Maximila Makale is here. Maximila, hello there, Maximila. And Mary
life still
Nyaboke,
goes on.
hello
Mm-hmm.
there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, you guys who are here on YouTube.
Yes.
Please continue sharing the video. This is our new home. We'll be doing our shows here for the time being. But it's also a good idea for you as a viewer to also check out other social media platforms, not only on Facebook,
Yeah.
YouTube also is another platform that you can get the same information and knowledge that we always share. So, right, Lydia, we continue now. Today we'll do a recap of, I think, edition 8, which we did the last 8 Mondays.
Yeah.
And it's basically the topic which is there on the screen. How best can you speak with your teenager?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You
Thank
have,
you.
at the moment, you have 2 teenagers. Still 2 teenagers and 1 young adult. Those who
My
don't know
one
Lydia,
yesterday.
she has 3 daughters, and 1 is a young adult, and the other 2 are teenagers. So if you're a parent and you're tuning in here, she's going to share her experiences and how best she tries to talk or speak with her teenagers, and how sometimes she doesn't speak very well with them. So summary, yeah, let's start.
Yeah.
Lydia.
Yes. So my name is Lydia Tett Olet. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I always appreciate your platform, Facebook or not Facebook, YouTube or not. We're here. Like we say the other day, even if we touch one person, you've done something. Because I always like referencing with the Bible as well. The Bible says that if you leave the 99 and just change that to one person, you've done justice. So for us, is just whoever we can save, even if it's one person. And like I always say, I'm not perfect. That's nothing near there. My children are not perfect, nothing near there, but they're good children. And I know I'm a good parent as well. And I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a parent who have dealt, or so many youths have passed through my house, or through my doors, or through my hands, or through my discipline. And I also have 3 girls that I've disciplined as well. And my firstborn is 24, my secondborn is 18, my thirdborn is 16. So that is the passion that I have about talking to parents about youth, because I see a lot of parents bringing up children with struggle, or sometimes we're doing things we think it's right, but actually it's either wrong or we are spoiling our children. And the reason why I think I came out of the tunnel really, really well, of course, with the help of God, and also the fact that I used to attend so many seminars. I attended workshops, I attended seminars, I listened to people speak about parenting because I really wanted to get it right, Benjamin. Because I'm coming from a community where there was a video that was going around about domestic violence, about this woman who was beating this man. And my sister reminded me, and she said, Lydia, this is what we used to see in the environment when we were growing up. All the time we used to hear men beating their husbands, men beating their wives, and children being beaten, and people just fighting. And even as a family as well, in my own family, we were brought up, we were fighting, because that's all that my parents knew. There was no, so when I actually vowed I would never have children. But when I did have them, or I said, when I'm going to have them, I'm going to find a better way of bringing up my children. That's why I attended all these seminars and I listened to things. So even as when we talk here, I say there's no guideline of being a parent. There's no a logbook of being a parent, but there's guidelines. So you can decide to follow the guidelines, or you can decide to ignore them. It's really up to you as a parent. And I always say that even if you hear something and you feel like this is not for me, just take it and put it in the shelf. One day you might come back and nip it back and say, you know what, I had Lydia and Benjamin saying this. Let me take it and let me put it to practice and see if it works for me. So that's why we're here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that introduction. So those who are here, Lydia is just sharing some guidelines that she has used, and some of them have worked for her 3 daughters. And that's why we are here. And for me, I'm just moderating, asking her questions. And
Yes.
sometimes I dive in. Having been a teacher for teaching high school students and even college students, I basically also deal with this same group of people. And speaking with them can also be as challenging as it is to a parent and as it is to a teacher. And that's why we are here together with my guest today, Lydia. So Lydia, teenagers have terrible 2 worlds. The first good world is they are doing exciting things. I know your daughters, when they reached teenage life, they were doing so many good things. But on the other hand, they are also doing very bad things. And this makes parenting or speaking with teenagers very difficult.
That's the human side of it. When they're doing bad things.
Your first daughter, 25, of course, she became a teenager earlier on.
Yes, 24.
She's 24. Okay, so sorry about that.
No, that's
24.
fine.
So that
Yeah.
is, if I minus quick math, teenager starts from 13, right?
Yes. So
11
they
years
say.
ago.
So they say. Yeah.
When she became a
They,
teenager, what
yes.
was the experience for you and how was the feeling?
Okay. There's this thing, I don't know, there's this thing that people will say terrible too. So that's where it starts. They start, oh, terrible too, when your child is 2 years. So parents who, especially who've not been parents before, they always wait for that terrible two. And then the terrible two passes. And then now, oh my God, when your child is 13, oh my God. But the thing, Benjamin, with mindset, and that's why I keep on telling people, mind is a very powerful tool in our body, a very powerful organ in our body. Because if you lose your mind, it's like you've lost everything. You can have cancer, because cancer is also it's a disease that we have. Your mental, if you lose your mental illness, it's like you've lost everything. If you have cancer, you can just, that is just the cancer, but your mind is everything. You've lost everything. So mind is a very powerful tool and a powerful organ in our body. So when people are talking about terrible two, I said it already before my daughter was two. I will never have a terrible two.
By
So I
terrible two,
kept
you
them.
mean the 2-year-old child?
Yes, 2 years old. It starts at terrible two.
What's that? What's the meaning of terrible two?
Okay, terrible two is when your child is 2 years old. They are that's the time now they've started talking. So they're very inquisitive. That's the time they disturb you. That's the time you don't have peace. Anything called peace comes out of the window when they're two. So everybody here in the UK, they always say terrible two, terrible two. But the thing is what you embrace and what you accept that will actually manifest itself on the physical. So when people are saying terrible two, I always say no. For me, I don't know what that terrible two is. I don't want to accept it, or I don't want to appreciate it, or even embrace it. So when my child is two, I'll have a very nice 2-year-old child. And
So
that's
in
what
short, you
happened.
prepared your mind even before you became a mother that there's nothing like terrible two.
Nothing like terrible two in my
Yes.
life. So I never had the
Ah.
terrible two.
Uh-huh.
Now, people are talking about if your child is 13, your child is 13. The same thing. I
Terrible 13 maybe
prophesied,
now.
yes, terrible 13. And I
Yes.
was like, no, I'm not going to have a terrible 13. And the thing is, Benjamin, I'm a very focused person, and everything I say, that's what I focus and I work towards it. So I was working towards that 13. So I'd already prepared. They're saying terrible. They're saying if your child is 13, she's doing this, she's doing that. So everything had prepared already. When they say preparation. So I prepared that if my child is 13. That's why I said I attend a lot of seminars. So I attended seminars. I attended workshops. So I've had all this. If your child is 13, this is what they do. So everything that people are saying that if your child is 13, I'd already written them down, everything. And I'd already said no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, to everything, even sleeping. I'm telling you, even they even say that if your child is from 13, all they do is sleep. They just want to sleep. I said, that's not going to happen. You'll wake up when you're supposed to wake up, and you'll sleep when you're supposed to sleep.
Yeah.
So forget that now being lazy. Because if you allow that, they can be lazy for a very long time, even forever. We see people who are grown up, 20, even 25, 26, they don't want to go to work. They just want to be lazy, just sit down. We even see grown up men who sit down and their wives are the ones who are working. We see
That's very true. It's
women
very
who just,
common, by the way. These days, it's very common.
it's
So many ladies
very
are working
common.
and
Yeah, the
yes.
men are just lazy, just sitting down there and doing nothing. So when you allow that to start at an early age, that, oh, I'm just sleeping, all I do is sleep, their body will get used to that. Their mind will get used to that. All I do is sleep. So all those terrible 13, when they were talking about them, I'd already prepared them. So by the time my daughter was 11, because at that time now her brain can understand a lot of things. So you don't talk to them when they're 6 or 5. They won't even understand what you're talking about. By the time they hit secondary school, which is 11 years old, I started now preparing her mind that this 13 people are talking about is not going to happen to you. In my mind, I'm like, this 13 is not going to happen to you. But I didn't actually say it loud. But I am doing what I'm doing. I am talking to her. I'm advising her. I am watching her like a hawk. I never had any of those 13, Benjamin. I won't lie to you, and God is my witness. I never had 13 with all my 3 children.
Wow.
I never had that. because I was prepared. I was prepared.
The key
Everything
thing
we
was the
do,
mindset. You're prepared, the mind, and you're trying to go against what people are saying, that when your child is
yes,
2 years, this is how they're going to behave. At
terrible
13,
too.
terrible 2 and terrible 13.
Mm-hmm.
And you as the viewer, tell us, Josie Kemu, I want to engage them. Josie,
Mm-hmm.
Maximila, Mary, and Jacqueline. You can also tell us if you have children, how old are they on the comments there. Leave a comment there on YouTube and continue sharing the video so
Yeah.
that you can we can get other listeners tuning in and watching us. Tell us, if you're a parent, how old is your son or your daughter, and what is the biggest challenge when it comes to speaking. So the two worlds which I asked you earlier on, doing good things and bad things. Let me start with the good side. Your first daughter,
Yes.
at 13, what was she good at?
I mean, she was all my children, because they've all been at 13. They've
Yes,
all been
yes.
past
Actually,
that
let's talk
stage.
all of them. Yeah, about all of them. Yes.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because they've all passed that stage. Um, because like I said, Benjamin is, and that's why I like these sessions, because I always want the people who've not had children yet, or the people who are children are young, so they can understand what do we mean when we're saying foundation. What do we mean when we're saying strong foundation? Strong foundation is very, very good, Benjamin, because your children will not, even the Bible says that teach your children the way of the Lord. So even when they're older, they'll not depart from it. They can go, but that word will always bring them back. So even if my children maybe want to do bad things, but that memory of mommy will always come back. Mommy say this, mommy say that. So for me, when my children were 13, I don't see there's nothing I'll say that, oh, they did that. I'll be like, oh my God, how can you? No. The only time I remember when my daughter was 16 is when she kissed the boy the first time, and I saw it and I was shocked.
Yeah, you
But
talked
when
about
they
it
were,
in the last Monday's edition. Yes,
yes,
the
but when
first kiss.
oh my God,
Yeah,
I don't know if it was the first or not, but that's the first I saw.
but you will never forget that kiss.
I'll never forget that. So,
Uh-huh.
because the foundation has been very, very strong and solid. And the other thing I've always taught my children, and I know we spoke about this last time as well a little bit, is don't choose your friends. Don't choose friends for them. Because that's a very bad move. Because when you choose friends for them, they'll only bring home the friends you've chose for them. But the ones that they're going to meet out there, because don't forget, the voice outside is stronger than the voice in the house. Regardless of how strict you are, how good you are, how Christian you are, it doesn't matter. We have TD Jake's daughter, who was very, very. TD Jakes is spiritual, and we all know that. Yet her daughter got pregnant at the age of 13. So it doesn't matter. Your voice can be, but outside, the voice is stronger. So don't choose friends for your children. Let them choose. And when they choose, let them bring them home. So you see what kind of friends they're choosing. And just engage their friends. And when their friends leave, just talk to them and say, wow, don't, don't don't be negative about their friends. Don't use condescending tone about their friends or gaslighting their friends. Just talk to them nicely and say, wow, I saw your friend, and just have a discussion. So let them think for themselves, wow, is that a really good friend I should have? Or is that, oh yeah, that's a very good friend I should keep. So let them have that conversation with themselves according to what you've had with them. So even though my children, when they were passing that teenagers, 13, I'm telling you, Benjamin, I have no something that can recall and say, oh my
That was
God, this is
surprising
what.
for you. Oh my goodness, something extraordinary. They just went
No.
through the phase. The foundation is you tried as much as you can to make them speak with you all the time, even as young as they were. I see Josie Kemi says she has a 10-year-old. So even
Yes.
this talk is not about just teenagers. Even your 10-year-old, in the next 3 years, your son or your daughter will be 13. And that's why this show is can be helpful to you.
And
So
that's
for
a
you,
that's a very good age to lay foundation still. If the foundation has not been laid, it's still a very good age, because like I said, when your child hits secondary school, I don't know what happens with secondary school. There's just something hovering,
it's
a
a
really bad spirit
and that's
hovering.
where I want us to talk about, because now you talked about friends, and these teenagers can have their friends that they talk with, they open up, they laugh. I mean, when you sit somewhere and you're eavesdropping, they are laughing and having a good time. And you, as a parent, you will try to ask a very genuine question: how was your day, or how was school? And then this kid goes quiet, mute.
Yeah.
The same kid was just laughing with her friends. So did it happen to you at some times when you wanted to talk with? I know you have said you always laid a foundation, so your story could be different, but there are times when you wanted to talk with your daughters, but they go mute. What about these parents who are going to be watching this video? Every time they want to ask a question, it's either mute or tantrum.
Yeah, I don't think
How was
my
your
children,
experience?
my children are so talkative. They're worse than me. Okay, they say I talk too much, and they always say, "Oh, mommy, God, you talk too much." And then everybody has who talks too much, who is quiet. One day when they're here, you ask them, you just ask them who talks too much, who is more loud, who is more quiet. So my children are very, they talk a lot, all of them. But what I can say is, like my second born, she's the one who sometimes she has a mood. But my first and my last, there's no time for moods. My last, maybe if you send out, ukimtuma tuma kila saa unaona ameshakuwa mandazi ya bama. Sasa kila saa namwambia, I would just tell her, we, mandazi ya bama ni ya nini? And then she'll be like, no, mom, I don't have
Mandazebama is
mandazi.
like the swollen cheeks.
That's what, because you keep on sending her. You
Yes.
keep on sending her. And you know, our houses are upstairs and downstairs. So if you send her
Ah.
upstairs all the time, of course she'll get upset.
She'll get upset,
But
yeah.
yeah, she'll be like, So when I now tell her, hey, mandazi ya bama, I make fun of it. I don't get angry. Like, so that's the thing that parents will do. Eh? I'm sending you and you're upset. No. I just make a joke like, hey,
The way
mandazi ya
our mother
bama.
used to do, if your mother sends you and you
Mandazi ya bama.
our generation was a terrorism all the time. It's just being terrorized and
Totally telling you.
uh-huh.
So what I do is find a joke, like, because I've told them what Mandazia Bama is. I've told them that Bama, that Mandazia Bama, that thing. So every time she's upset, I'll use that Mandazia Bama, and then she'll be like, no, I'm not Mandazia Bama. And then I'm like, okay, then fix your face. So, but my first and my last, they really talkative.
They always
people.
talked. If you ask them a question, they always opened up and started talking.
Yes. The second one, sometimes she's close. But what I do is you have to read the mood in the room, Benjamin. You have to read the mood, because even you as a grown-up, sometimes you don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just like, oh, today I just feel like
You go
quiet.
to work and you just want to be quiet with the computer and do
Thank
your desk
you.
work and finish work and go home. It's normal.
Yes,
Yes.
it's normal.
Yes.
And then somebody will come and say yappy, 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 and you're just thinking, oh my God, when will this person just be quiet? You understand? So it's the same thing as well. I have to, because I know my children, I read their mood, I know how all of them are. I know that my firstborn, I can go anytime and ask her anything. We are good. My lastborn, I can go anytime. My secondborn,
You have to think twice.
I have to read the mood.
Yes.
So if I see she's yappy, 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 me too, I'm yappy, yappy, yappy at that time. So everything I want to know, I'll know at that time. But when I see she's not in those very nice moods, I leave her. I don't interfere with her. I leave her, because it's not that something is bothering her. That's who she is.
Because some parents will be thinking that, wow, my kid is always quiet. If I want to ask a question, she doesn't respond. Then there's something she's thinking, or there's something he is thinking.
So you wait when they're yapping. When they're yapping, that's the time you now bring everything up and say, hey, sweetie, sometimes when you're quiet, mommy's a little bit worried, because I always think maybe something is wrong with you. And they'll be like, oh, no, mom, nothing is wrong with me. So when they are in that, when you've read the mood, and that time when they're yappy, that's the time you now start talking. If you want to talk from morning to evening, that's the time you open up and talk to them and ask them what's wrong. You just say, sometimes mommy's worried. I don't know what you're thinking about. Did I upset you? That's the time they'll open up. And then when they're quiet, now it has nothing to do with you. And also just reassure them every time, Benjamin, this is so important. Reassure your children that you're there for them. Regardless of what you're there for them. In UK, I don't know how it is in other countries, but in UK, the police, we know that Black people are always, there's racism everywhere. If they want to get rid of Black people in this country, they will tomorrow with the blink of an eye. They don't care if you are born in this country or you're from Africa, provided you are Black. To them, you're a Black person. Okay? So anytime they arrest our Black children, and our youths are always, like I told you, 80% of youths in prison are Black children. That statistic is so sad. So I've told my children that if you got yourself in trouble outside, because anything can happen at any time, and you get yourself in trouble outside with the police, or you are with your friends go into fight, or anything happened and they took you to the police station, I've told them, yes, mommy will be angry with you. I won't lie to you that I will smile. I'll be so angry with you, but I'd rather I get angry with you than you have a criminal record. Do not sign anything. And I think parents need to teach their children, if they take you to the police station, do not sign anything. Benjamin, those things that they sign, they don't allow you to read it. They just tell you sign and we release you. And you're not going to tell your parents. So because the child is scared, the child will sign. You've signed your life away. That you have a criminal record forever.
Wow.
So I always tell my children, regardless of what happens, just tell your mother. Just tell me. And I will be angry. So they know already that, oh, mommy will be upset. But I'd rather have my mom angry than me having a criminal record for the rest of my life. So these are things that I've discussed. Yeah, I've discussed with my children so many things. We discuss a lot of things.
Yeah. Getting themselves into trouble. You're talking about being in trouble, but there is the idea of listening, you know? Like I'm listening to you, I'm trying to imagine as a parent, this is what I have to do. And your kids are very talkative, but the advantage, you are also talkative. So
yes,
you're almost like on the same wavelength. What about a parent? Let's talk about the power of listening. A parent who listens to, because listening is also another form of speaking. You're communicating. What would you tell a parent to show that they are very good listeners? What things can they do?
Okay, because I have, and I'm giving you an example of one of my friends. She's very quiet. She's quiet. She's a quiet person. Her daughter as well is a quiet person. So they can be in the house and you're thinking, hello, is somebody in this house? Yeah, the daughter is upstairs, the mom is down, nobody's talking to somebody. So one day she brought her daughter here and she said, oh, I just want my daughter to be friends with your children because your children talk a lot. You guys are free, but mine is always quiet. So we were talking and she told me something and I couldn't believe it. She said, one day the school called my mom and this is what they said and my mom took their side. So from that day, that child made up her mind she's never going to talk to her mom.
The mom,
you see, her mom,
the school took the side of the mom?
No, the mom took the side of the teacher.
The side of the school, the teacher.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So the teacher was saying,
was the kid in trouble?
Yes, she was in trouble, but she was saying, Mommy, I didn't do it.
Uh-huh. And when the mother went to school, she sided with the teacher.
Yes, in front of her. She just said, yeah, you did it. So that really, really made her angry. And it made her think like, Mom is never listening to me. She doesn't listen to me. So what's the point of me talking to her? So now, and because she told me this in private, I didn't know how to relate back to the mom, but I have to. Because I need to help this child because she was only 15 then, because this was last year, but now she's 16. So I now spoke to the mom and I said, you need to listen to your child. Listen to when she's talking to you. Because you see these quiet children, even if she only alters 5 words, but those 5 words, you listened to all of them. Tomorrow they are going to open up to 10, to 15. Because all children want to know is my mom or my dad is listening to me. So you listen, like we said, Benjamin, you said this before, listen to understand, not to respond. Because as parents, we don't really listen to understand. No, but why did you do that? But the child is trying to say, Mom, listen, we do not listen. So when this child said this, it really hurt me. And I went and I told her mom, and I said, don't go and break the trust. Because if you go and tell her that Auntie said, she's not going to talk to me again or tell me anything. So you need to use wisdom and see how you're going to turn around this situation.
Sometimes the parent could be listening, but again, when the parent is listening, trying to listen more, and then the parent starts questioning and asking many questions.
Yes. So what you need to do is have a discussion. Like me and you, we're having a discussion. We're just having a discussion. So have a discussion with your child. And the thing is, this is what I always do when I come in the house, and they know that I always give everybody their time, and I've said that before. And I'll ask, what happened to you today that was wow? And they'll tell me. Okay, what happened that was they'll tell me. So if they tell me the I'll now discuss it and ask them, what would you do better? So let it come from them. What would you do better to change that situation? Sometimes they tell me, Mommy, nothing. Nothing. There's nothing I can do to make it better. But
But
sometimes they're like,
you started this long time ago when they were not even teenagers asking
oh,
that
yes,
specific question. Yeah.
yes. This
But the
one I
parents
started.
now, like Josie came with 10 years old. I don't know, but she can start now finding out
Mhm.
about the good moments during the day for her son or daughter and the
Yeah, and
bad
10 is
moments.
still
Yeah.
young. Yeah, 10 is
10 is
young.
still young. But for a teenager, they will go quiet. But still, even if when they start talking, it's much, much more important for a parent to listen. Listen to understand. Put your phone down. How about the phones when your
I
teenager is talking?
put the phone, because if you don't put the phone down as a parent, because remember, these children, they do what you do, not what you say. So if, let's say, my daughter comes to my room and I've not finished sending a message and I'm on the phone, and then she comes, oh, Mommy, I just, okay, 1 minute, honey, let me just send this message. And then I'll send it and then I'll put the phone down. And I put it like this. I put it like this. So I don't see it ringing. So, because if you see ringing, you'll be tempted. Oh, that's the ambassador. Let me pick. You want to pick. So I put it like this. So even if it rings, I don't see who is ringing. So I don't get tempted, because it's human nature. You might say, oh, I've been looking for that person. Let me just talk. So I put it like this. But if they come and I was in the middle of something, I just say, oh, sweetie, let me just finish this 1 minute. Let me just finish this. But if I was on the phone as well and it's my friend, we are talking, yeah, 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 I'll just say, Mommy, watch I need to call back. I'll call you back. Let me call you back. And then I'll cut the phone and I finish with them. So you need to make them feel like they are so important, because they are. They are very important in our life. They are our number one. So whoever you're with on the phone does not matter. Put the
Put your
phone
phone
down,
down.
talk to your child and finish. So what we can do, if you're somebody who likes you like going on your phone so many times, put your phone down. Say if you have 3 children like I do, I give this one 15 minutes, I finish. And my firstborn, I talk to her a lot because she's older. So I talk to her a lot than the other ones. And then I'll put my phone down. When I come in the house from work, I go to my room, put my bag in my room, and then go in the bathroom, wash my hands first. When I finish, I'll go to my big one. Talk, 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 finish. Or whoever I find downstairs first, I'll come talk, talk, talk to whoever is downstairs, then go upstairs. But I'll make sure I talk to all of them. And
Every
then
day.
no, that's an everyday, that's ritual. That's religious. If I
Yes.
if I don't, they'll ask me, Mommy, what's wrong? So they will know. If I don't do it, they know something is wrong. Sometimes for me, the punishment I can give them, and they'll be like, Mommy, is to stop talking to them. If I stop talking to them,
They know
that hurts
something is
them.
serious. Yeah, something
Ah,
is wrong somewhere.
that hurts them so much. If they say, Mommy, how are you? How was work? Like, they know something is wrong, because this is no mom. This mom talks too much. Something is wrong. So I'll go to my room and they'll come, all of them, 3 of them. Mommy, what's wrong? Then I say, nothing. Yeah, because you're not talking to us. And then that's when I'll say, yeah, it's because you did, you did, you did. So we
And
solve
then
it.
the talking starts from there.
Yes.
Wow. So, talking about this listening in connection with showing trust, I understand that teenagers also want to see that their parents trust them. But how do you build trust with your teenager so that they can trust you and tell you the things that they don't want to tell anyone else?
The
It's
thing
very
is,
hard,
yeah, that is hard, but it's easy as
It's
well.
easy,
It's
yeah?
hard and easy. And the reason why I say it's easy when you start it early. That's easy, totally. It's hard when you've left it for too long, but it's not impossible. So it's easy if you start it easy earlier. It's hard when you start it late, but it's not impossible. So what you do is, personally, I always tell my children, if I'm going, they know my children can come to my workplace and find me there. Everywhere I'm going, I'll tell them. When my firstborn was younger, I have my next door neighbor. She was angry with me, and one of my friends as well. They said, "You're telling your daughter too much. You're telling her too many things. Some things you don't need to tell her." But she was my best friend. She was the only person I had. Even though at that time their dad was still here, but he wasn't here. He was here, but he wasn't here, if you know what I'm saying. So it was just her. And I kept on just telling her things.
So if
But
you went somewhere, you went out, or you're planning to go and see someone, you always told her, I'm going somewhere and I'll come back at this time.
yes, I'm going to Auntie Vicky's house, I'm going to Uncle John's house, I'm going to so and so's house, and I'll come back at this particular time. The only time I had to change that a little bit was when now my second born was born, because Benjamin, if you told her you're going to Auntie whoever's house,
Yes.
she wants that person's number, she'll phone that auntie person.
Uh-huh.
And if you tell her you're coming at 10,
You better come
10
at
or
10.
1, yes, 10 or 1, she'll call you. You said you're coming at 10. It's 10 o'clock. Where are you? So because of that, I now stopped telling her what time I'm coming back. I started saying I'll come back at 11 when I knew I'll be coming up at 10. So if I come at 10, she'll be like, but you said 11. But because of the way she was so like, oh God, what's the word?
The word is maybe
Anxiety.
particular. Yeah, anxiety.
Anxiety.
She
Yeah,
was always anxious, wanting to know where
Yes.
is mommy and what time is mommy coming.
Mommy coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Why is mommy not here? She says she'll be here at 8. So because of her, I started changing my ways. But they always know mommy's going to work. Mommy's coming back at this time. Sometimes my children even come to work to just surprise me with food, because my work is not very far from home and I'm there. So every time, so because of the way I tell them everything, not everything, of course, but them too.
Most of the things here, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, most
Yeah.
of the things, but them too, they'll tell me most of the things, because even them, they won't tell you everything. Some things they'll keep it to themselves just to tell maybe their friends, or even just keep it to themselves. Whoever parent thinks that their children will tell them 100%, that's a lie.
It's a lie.
It's
It's a lie. Yeah.
It's a lie. They'll tell you most of the things if you're close to them, but not everything. So they tell me so many things because I tell them things. So that's how it works. So if you're a parent who don't tell your children everything, even if you just tell them the ones that you need them, you want them to hear, but just tell them that, oh, this is what happened to me. Hata kama unataka kuongeza mafinyo zingine hapo, so they feel like, wow, mom is telling us stories. Us too, let us tell mom
Mommy
stories.
can also trust us to share this story with us,
Yes,
you know?
yes. So
How
you
about
too.
dating? Can mommy
Yeah,
tell the children now I have met a boyfriend?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Uh-huh.
But it has to be somebody that you know that this person is a serious person, not just today is Tom, tomorrow is Jerry. You can't do that, especially if you have girls. I feel like maybe even if you have boys, it's the same thing. But I feel like if you have girls, you have to be really, really sure. So I dated this guy, and I told my children, and we went for dinner, and I told him, these girls will drill you, and I will not help you, because I know them. I said they will drill. Oh my God, they drilled that. I was feeling sorry for him. I wanted to
Were they
laugh.
teenagers already, your daughters, at that time? So, you told them, mommy, how did you tell? Because I know some people are going to be watching this. They are single mothers and
Yes, I
probably
say
they want to date. So how did you start telling
yeah.
them that now I have found someone?
Yes, I said I met this guy, and they're like, huh? Yeah, I met this guy and I like him and he likes me. And I think, but if you guys say yes, we're gonna go out. If you guys say no, then it's fine. But you have to give your approval. So I made them feel like they're part of this decision. Not just me coming home one day and say, okay, guys, meet Tom. Tom is here. No, no, no. I never even brought him home. We had to meet in a restaurant in Nando's. He took us to eat first. I said, there's this guy, and I like him, and I want you guys to meet him. So we went. The drilling they gave this man. I was laughing,
Yeah.
laughing inside, but I didn't want to interfere. So this one is asking, and this one is shooting, and this one is shooting. And then the guy was good in answering questions. So he answered, and everything was good, done. So, but if he comes home, he goes. He comes home, he goes. But one day he was a very like quiet person. One day, my daughter, my last one at that time, she was 8. My last one said, "Uncle, why are you like this? Ha, like a woman." And my mom is like a man.
Oh my goodness.
I said that was a break dealer. I was like, that's it. And then my second born, who was 11 at that time, says, "Oh, they just called you a wimp." And we were having breakfast on the table. It was in the morning. I felt like the world opened and let's swallow, because they just said it from nowhere. I didn't tell them. I didn't even know they're gonna say that. And the guy started laughing. So I'm thinking, let me wait for the answer. So he just started laughing and he said, that's the way God has created people. God have just created some people to be and some people to be like your mom. So that's fine. That's the day I made up my mind that it's over. I was like, that's it, I'm done. Because if my children can see that, so if this guy was to marry me, how would the family feel? The family would feel like I'm in control. Because my children saw that already, because I'm chap chap. So that was the last time I ever dated someone. I said, that's it, I'm done. So
But
since then,
from your words and your short story about that experience, it's okay for the parents also to speak about this new dating experience to their children. It's perfectly
yes,
okay.
but they must let the children be decision makers together. Let them feel important. Let them feel like they're part of this decision making.
Yeah.
But you don't just come home with the man and say, okay, guys,
This
this
is
is
the
Tom.
guy. This is your new dad.
No, it doesn't happen like that. You can never, especially if you have boys, because when you, and I've seen, that's the problem I've seen so many with the boys, a lot of boys here in the UK, is because most of them, their parents just come with the man, I'm dating this person. They're not part of it. And because men, they protect their mother like this. So when their dad is gone and their mother is a single mother, they are protecting their mother. Is like, I'm the man of this house. And then tomorrow you just rocking with the man.
They will be
He will
like,
never
wow,
go
who
to
is this
war.
guy? Yeah.
Who is this guy coming to take my place? Because for them, they feel like it's my job to protect my mom. They don't know that mom needs more protection above what you can give her. You understand? So you need to make them understand that mom actually needs more protection than the protection you're giving me. It's beyond that. And I've met someone, but you guys have to give approval first. Even though maybe you really like this person, you're thinking, oh my God, what if they say no? What if they say no? But you need to make them feel like you are part of this decision making. And if they feel like that, they'll never say no. If they feel like mom is talking really good about this guy, mom really likes this guy, and mom has allowed us to make the decision together, they will not say no.
They will
Mind
support
game.
you. Yeah. All right.
Mind.
I hope the parents who are watching here are getting and learning. Talking about involving them, there is the issue of being a dictator. And we talked about
Yes.
setting the rules. And you remember when we were doing the show on Facebook, some people are saying, oh, no rules, or rules cannot be changed. We talked about rules, but you see, to
Yes.
be a dictator or to lead, there must be rules to be followed.
Yes.
But as a parent, speak to the parent who is watching. How can these rules help you to manage your children?
You know, when you remember when we spoke about rules, we went back to a company. When we
Yeah.
were talking about the CEO, you are the CEO of your children. We spoke about the company. Every single company, Benjamin, successful companies have rules and regulations that have to be followed.
That's
And if
right.
you break them, you're fired. That's it. But for there to be rules and regulations, that's why you see some companies, they're very smart. Immediately you join, they give you shares of the company. They give you 1%, they give you 2%, for you to feel like, oh, me too, I own this company because I have shares. So you have to give it your best because you have shares in that company. So and when you have shares in the company, you're making rules and regulations together. So it's the same thing. So you and your children, you have to sit down and make rules and tell them this is the rule. And how do you feel about this? Yeah, but mom, I feel like that
This
is
is
your
too
that
this is
is
too harsh.
privacy. This is too harsh. Ask them, why do you think it's harsh? Do you think it's harsh because you don't want to follow it, or do you think it's harsh because your friends, when your friends told you that it's harsh? Why do you think it's harsh? And then they'll say, yeah, because A, B, C, D, or because, okay, so what do you think we can do to replace that?
So you
What do you
engage
think?
them in the process of making. You can create the rules and tell them that these are the rules. Explain to them the meaning of those rules, and then you ask for them to tell you what they feel about those rules
Yes. And
until
they'll
you
tell
reach
you,
an agreement.
yeah, they always tell you it's harsh, Benjamin. Let me don't lie. They
Always,
always say,
it's every rule is
ah,
harsh.
always. Nobody wants rules. Nobody
Yes,
likes rules. They
nobody
always say,
likes rules. Yes.
nobody. They always say, yeah, but because even in company, you've joined the company and then you don't like the rules, but you joined it. So that means that you've joined. You just have to follow the rules, but you're still thinking, but this rule is harsh. You shouldn't have joined the company then.
Yep.
So that means
Or you
nobody
should have
likes
started your
rules.
own company then.
You have started your own company. So it's the same thing as children. They don't like rules. They'll be like, but why is mom or dad putting this is too much? So now ask them, what do you think? Because they have to be rules. So you tell me what we can put there instead. So now
These are
let me
the
give
rules
you.
for the phone, the rules for the internet, the rules for the friends, or going
Exactly.
out and coming back.
Especially that going out. My first daughter had it really harsh, and I always think, even today I was laughing because I knew this topic, we are going to do this program, and I was like, it's so funny how parents are always harsh with firstborns and maybe second, and then parents relax because I think now everything just relaxes.
Yeah,
It's like when
it
you
becomes too much. Me, I'm the firstborn,
yeah,
so my parents were very strict on me. So,
yeah.
and when I see how my dad treats my sister, I'm like, oh man, I think he was very unfair to me. Yeah, so you are so harsh on her. You are like a
Yes.
dictator, the real dictator we are talking about, on her.
She feels like, oh, mom, if I could have said that, because sometimes if I say something to my last born and she says something back, my daughter's like, and she looks at me, mom, are you gonna let that slide? And I'm thinking, what? She said, mom, this is what she said. And then that's when I realized, I said, did you say that to me? But with my firstborn, I will immediately she says something, I'll pick it up and say, what did you say? That's why I always say up to now, Benjamin, and this is the honest truth. And when they're here, you'll ask them. My firstborn have never answered me back. They argue with me, it tells me, but mom, I said, excuse me, why are you talking to like that? No, mom, I wasn't meant, it wasn't rude. If it's rude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude. My firstborn, I've never.
Never answered you back.
Up
Even
to
when you
now.
know you have pissed her off, you have annoyed her, she
Ah,
never answers. But the second born, she will, or the third born has done it.
third one, not the second one. The second one has some kawiz. The third one will just say the way it is, and my first one will be like, "Don't you dare talk to mom like that." So now she's the one taking over. She's like, "Don't talk to mom like that," and then she's like, "Okay, I'm sorry." But the first one wouldn't have slide at all. So I think parents are so strict with the first ones and then they relax. It's the same thing when you have your first one and they fall down. Benjamin, you will run. Your stomach will be twisting and you think, oh my baby.
They are
The
broken,
second one,
their
the third
spinal
one,
cord, yes.
you're used to them falling. You're like,
Yes.
atakuwa sawa, ni sawa, atamuka. Because you're used to it.
So
So it's the same
rules are
thing.
very important, but I believe that even those who, like at school, as I began the show, I mentioned to the viewers that I have been a teacher, teenage schools, and teaching high school students. Sometimes we try as much as we can as teachers to explain those rules. But you see, there's a new parent who is watching here who will just give a rule, no internet from today, and there's no explanation. And then this kid will, as you say, they don't accept and they'll start overreacting.
Yes.
What would
Yeah.
you say about explaining the meaning of those rules?
Okay. Especially that you use no internet. You tell the child no internet. First of all, you need to explain, like you said, why is it that you feel like there's no internet? And then the second thing as well that we do as parents, we give up. No internet, okay? Tomorrow you forget the child has the internet because these children are very smart and they know how to push their buttons. So, mommy have said no internet Monday to Friday. Example, when you come back from school, no internet Monday to Friday. The child will come back from school, they'll have internet because they want to see if mommy remembers what she says. So something called consistency. They always say that if you have a company or if you're doing an event, consistency is very important in your life. Like Benjamin, you've been consistent with your shows, and that's why now you have so many followers, you have so many viewers because you've been consistent. So to be consistent with rules is very important, Benjamin. So if you say no internet on a Monday to Friday,
And then
and
next
then
Monday there's internet, it will be like, wow, okay.
mommy doesn't,
Mom
mommy's
is
not
just
serious.
joking. She's a
Yeah.
joker.
Yeah, she's not serious. Or because you feel like, I told you there's no internet Monday, Tuesday. You've checked Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday they put it. They're smart. They will put and see if mom will check. If mom doesn't check, the internet rule will go back. So if you put rules and regulations, these are things that you have to follow. These are
Explain
things you have
and
to
be
follow.
consistent.
Explain and be consistent. You cannot just say, I don't want you to go out. But why? Why
Explain
don't you
why.
want me to go out? And then, and what I used to tell my children is, it's not you that I don't trust, it's the people out there that I don't trust. So explain to your children why you don't want them to go out and why you don't want them to come back late, because of the other people, not them. Them, you trust them. Them, you can let them go out until 12, but it's the people out there that you don't trust. Because
Wow.
people out there are the ones that molest people. People out there are the ones that kill people. People out there are the ones that do all these bad things to you. And you can meet them anytime. So for them to avoid, for you to avoid all these things, come home when there's still light. Don't use that corridor. Don't use the alleyway when you're coming home. Do this. And it's not because I don't trust you. So explain to them why you feel like, even sometimes when they're going out and you say, no, today you're not going out. Explain to them why. Why am I not going out? Because last week you went out. You can't be going out every single weekend. You can go out once a month. I can let you go because you're still young. Your age, you're only 16. A 16-year-old cannot be going out every time
Yep.
when they want. So you need to. And then the other thing as well, you need to have rules, which is, if your child is going out, they need to tell you at least 2 weeks prior. You know, sometimes children will go outside and they meet their friends, and their friends will say, hey, there's a party tonight, man. There's a party tonight.
Just
They'll just
instantly, yes. From
spontaneously they
nowhere. I want to go to a party tonight.
night. How? So they need to know that if you want to go somewhere, you have to tell your parents, you have to tell mommy or daddy 2 weeks prior. So mommy or daddy will know, will prepare their mindset that, oh, on the 14th, my daughter is going to go out. Where is she going? You need to know where your children are going. What time is she going and what time is she coming back? Where is she going? Who is she going with? Even though you know her friends, she can tell you, oh, I'm going out with so and so, so and so, so and so. But you need to know. That's why sometimes my daughter goes out and it's late and she's not back. I call her, she doesn't pick. I start calling the people that she says she's going out with.
To
You need to
confirm
have
what's
their
going
phone
on, yes.
numbers. Yeah, you must have their phone numbers. You need to know who they are. So if you're phoning your child and you can't get your child, you can phone the friends. Because sometimes your child phone is ringing, maybe it's on silence, maybe they can't hear it, but you call their friends. So you need to know all these things. But if the child is not going out, if you say no, you need to explain why you're saying no.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Ruth Kwambi, leo nimechelewa. Anyway, greetings to Benjamin and Lydia. Ndio umechelewa, lakini I hope utawatch repeat. But thank you so much for the greetings, and thank you so much for always tuning in. I see also Damakrin Ogero. Hey there, Damakrin. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in here. So talking about those rules, sometimes when those rules are broken, Lydia,
Yes.
the parent can get very annoyed.
Very angry.
And in that case, even when a parent is annoyed, the child has broken the rule. Let's say the internet rule, the phone rule, or the going out rule. And then the same child is answering back with rudeness. You know, for you have said your first daughter has never answered you back. How about when this kid answers you back with rudeness? As a parent, what is the best approach?
Okay.
Put anger in this answer.
Yes, I'm very angry at that
Yes,
time.
at that time you're very angry. This kid has broken the rule and has really annoyed you, and the same kid is answering you back.
Okay. What I always tell parents is, you know that thing they say, asira hasara. As a parent,
Asira Asara, Swahili in English should be Hasira ni Asara. Anger has many losses, eh?
direct
Direct
translation.
translation, yes.
Yes.
So you tell the parents.
As a parent, you need to be patient, regardless, because it's like anybody who is in authority. Because when you're in authority, God has put you there because God knew that you can manage 100 people, 1,000 people working for you. If you're in authority, that's why they say a good manager is not just by name, it's by action. If you're in authority, if you're a figure of authority, you must have patience, regardless. So as a parent, if a child does that to you and you're so angry, first of all, because for me, I'll just send a slap. If it's something that
Instantly.
happens
Hapo kwa hapo.
instantly, hapo, waka, unajibu nani, But as a if a slap will be different from if you give out a punishment. Because if you're angry, you can dish a very strict, a very deep punishment, and then you regret later, but you have to carry on with it. I have given my child a punishment before, and even parents were calling me to say, "Oh, please let her be." And I said, "No, it's not happening." So, and the reason why it's good to take time out is to think of what will hurt that child so much that they won't do it again. Beating will not hurt them so much. You can beat them, but it will not hurt them so much. But if you know that your child likes this so much, your child likes this so much, but you need to think first, if I do to this child, what will make them feel like, I'll never do this thing again. So that's why as a parent, you need to take time out. Just say, you know what? Okay, I'm coming back. Like, you know what? And then think, oh my God, this child's birthday is coming up. I've done that to them when their birthday is coming up. They've planned their birthday. We've planned everything. Their birthday is coming up. You see that your birthday, honey, that you've been planning, you're not having it.
Wow.
They're like, what? You're not having it. That's it.
And then you explain, it's the reason why I'm canceling these plans is because of A, B, C, D.
Yeah. So the next time you think of doing that thing again, you think of this day, right? And remember, every year is your birthday, right? Yes, good. Me, I'm patient. I can wait for 9 months for your birthday to come and you're not going to do it. So you're not doing your birthday this year. And that day, because I know my children especially don't like ugali, I will cook ugali and you eat it. And it's your birthday. So by the time you think of doing something, that's why I tell parents, before you dish a punishment, think. Because you can say, oh, from today, you're not allowed to go out. Tomorrow, you've forgotten. She's out there playing with her friends. So what's the point? So you have to be very patient as a parent.
Patient. I think also it's also good to be kind in your response, Like, you know, this is an adult and this is a teenager. So an adult is more likely to control emotions.
Yes.
Better than a teenager. So being kind, being patient, I understand it's really, really important in controlling your other emotions like anger or just even if she's throwing tantrums and you're also throwing tantrums, so it's chaotic. So the parents also need to be kind in their even though that you feel like saying some nasty words, at that very moment. But the parent should always remember that for me, I'm an adult and this is a child. This is my child. I can control my emotions better than him or better than her. And before I overreact, let me think twice about my words and what I'm going to do to her.
And the other thing I would like to tell parents, don't ever argue with your child. No, your child should not argue back. You know, me and you, Benjamin, we can argue. Yes, but we can argue. Your husband and wife can argue, but you should never give room to a child to argue with you, because
always remain a parent and let the child remain a child.
A child.
Always.
That means there is no respect. That you're saying A, the child is saying B, you're saying C. You say, excuse me? When I talk, you're quiet. You're listening. When I finish talking, then you can now give me your reasoning. Why you think what I'm saying does not make sense. But
because these days parents allow the kid to talk back.
I see parents arguing with children and I'm thinking, are you guys mates? How can you argue with the child? And the child is saying, and the parent is saying, and the child is saying, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. A child, you should never give room to a child to argue with you. When I'm talking, you're not talking. That's it. When I finish talking, then I'll give you. Then you can talk.
Give me your reasoning.
Yes, but not. Hey, no. Nah, that's not happening in my house. It has never happened. It's not happening, and it's not about to start happening.
Wow. So controlling emotions is very important as a parent who is watching here, but also don't allow your kid to control you. Now, eventually, the kid is like a parent. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to do away with teaching for now, because teaching teenagers became more complex, especially during the COVID-19. The kids were so much under stress, and the parents too. And then as teachers, I don't know if it was me, but I believe most people working with people, it became so difficult for everyone. And at that moment is when I realized that even when I try to explain the problem of a child or a student at school to the parent, and the parent is together there with their teenager, they start talking back at each other. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like watching a TV, this is a movie. Wow. I'm like, this is a mother talking with the son like this? You know? And I see that the son or the child has really more powers than the parent. In the past, the teachers were very powerful in managing these teenagers. But these days, it's the other way around. So the child gangs up with the parent. They become two monsters. And whatever the teacher says is not true, is not okay, it is not right. So teachers are just there. So I started feeling like I'm just like a comedian who is told to entertain people. And you have to make them enjoy this comedy. And then... and you are not a comedian. Remember, you're not a comedian. So all the time I was feeling like I'm doing certain things. I wish this parent could understand where me too, I am going through a lot as a human being. I have my own issues back in my life, my private life. But I'm doing this. This is my job. But still, those parents, the way they talk back at each other with their children, then it becomes so difficult even for the teacher on how to speak with these teenagers. So I wish the parents who are watching should not allow these kids to talk back or to argue.
Well, even for a child, when you're in front of a teacher, and that's why I've said it as well, and my children know that. Even the schools are like, oh my God, don't call Miss Olet here, because Miss Olet, I've always taken my children's side in the front of the teacher, but I will never say it in front of the teacher. I will never allow my child to start answering the teacher, because if you allow your child to start answering back to the teacher, it's like the same thing your child is answering you. No, but Miss, I didn't do it. No, there's how. I always tell them, it's not what you say, and it's not what you do. It's the way you say it, and it's the way you do it. We can all say the same things, but it's the way you say it that comes out so rude and arrogant and aggressive. And someone else says the same thing that you said, but it comes out really kind and polite. So it's not what you say, but it's the way you say it. So before you open your mouth, you have to compose a sentence in your mind before it comes out. And then you compose it first, and then it comes out. And people will even respect you for that. But if you just throw your words anyhow, anywho, it's wrong. And that, the parents, why the parents do that, parents are scared nowadays, Benjamin. Parents are scared because they think, if I say this to my son or my daughter, if I say this to my child, I'll hurt their feelings. So because we don't want to hurt our children's feelings, we are compromising so many things. But in that compromising stuff, we are actually messing them up and destroying them on the process. Because we're compromising. So we're destroying them on the process of doing that. Wow. Because, I'm scared. I don't want to hurt their feeling. If I hurt their feeling, they'll go away. Your child will go away regardless. And they will go away if the foundation wasn't strong. You see, when your children start going away is when they start hanging around. And this is most of the time, this is what happens. A parent is working very hard. The parent is never home. The child is home by themselves. So when they're leaving school, they don't want to come home, because when they come home, they'll be by themselves. So they go and hang around in the streets with other children. What are they being taught in that streets? What are they getting in that streets? What are they seeing? Or what are they hearing in those streets? Because mommy's no home, daddy's no home. They don't know if I'm home or I'm not. You understand? So especially people in diaspora, we need to balance. We have to balance the life of staying with our children, improvising and giving the material things, and work. We are working at their expense. It's the expense of the children, because our absent is what is it's what's destroying the children a lot of the times. Now, because I'm always absent, I don't want to say something that will hurt my child's feeling, because remember, I don't even know this child, because I'm never there. So I don't even know this child. So that one day that I took off, because they called me at school that my child was naughty, I'm even angry, first of all, with my child, because you've wasted my time that I could have been at work and getting money for the house. Now I have to go to school with you, and then I don't even know I don't really know my child. So we're in front of a teacher. So what am I supposed to do? I'll just argue because I don't even know my child. It's like I've met a stranger in the streets and we're arguing in the bus. It's the same thing.
Wow.
And that's why when there was COVID, there was a lot of mental illness, a lot of divorce. There was a lot. The divorce rate went high.
Domestic violence,
Domestic
yeah.
violence went high, because don't forget, Benjamin, this is husband, wife, and children who have never been in the same house at the same time. The man works at night, the woman works during the day. They only see each other like 2 hours. The child is you're never home to see your child. When the husband is at home during the night, the husband is sleeping, the child is sleeping, the wife is at work. When the wife now comes during the day, the wife is sleeping, the child is at school. When the child comes back, I mean, they were not spending time
Totally
together.
strangers. They were totally strangers, yeah.
Now they're strangers in the same house. How do you expect these people to start behaving?
Chaotic.
Chaotic. We're strangers. We don't know each other.
And that's why I want us to wind up now that part of balancing. It's so hard life in diaspora, finding time, creating time. I don't know personally for you as Lydia with your 3 daughters, how have you managed to balance time to be together? I believe doing things together. There are parents who may want to do things together with their sons and daughters, but they do not have that opportunity.
Yeah.
For you, how was your experience? What advice can you tell them some of the things that they can do together with these teenagers?
Yeah, for me, coming back again to my own life, I really, really thank God for giving me the opportunity that I did take my children to where I was working every time. So I thank God. I'm really grateful for that. My job was allowing me to do that. But some people's jobs cannot allow them to do that. So what I can say is, especially people in diaspora, your first priority is your children. Forget your mom, your dad, your sister, brother. Your first priority is your children. Your parents have lived their life. And I know they'll be like, oh yeah, but I have to give my mom and my dad first. Is your children. What are you giving your children first? Your children matter a lot more than your mom and your dad. Your children are your number one priority, because don't forget, they're children. God gave them to you for you to nurture them, for you to look after them, for you to train them, okay, and for you to direct their footsteps to the right path, so that when they're now older, they will know how to look after themselves. Your parents, yes, your parents are very, very important, but they're not your number one priority. So if you know that if I'm working, this is going to interfere with me sending money and building the whole community in Africa. And that's our problem. We want to feed the whole community. You cannot feed the whole community. Even Jesus could not save everybody when he was here. Do you remember when Jesus went to eat in a house, and somebody, I think it's Mary Magdalene or Mary, was wiping Jesus' feet with her hair and nice perfume. And Judas was like, because Judas loved money, he was like, oh, this perfume is so expensive. And Jesus said, we can use it to help the poor. Jesus said, you cannot help everybody. Jesus could have helped everybody because he had the power. But the reason why he said that to us, that here we know you cannot help everybody. So your first priority is your children. So if you're earning, let's say 200 pounds, and this 200 pounds, all of it will go to my children, so be it, so I can have time for my children. Because let me tell you something, those same people that you're helping in Africa are the same people who laugh at you when your children are in prison, are the same people who laugh at you when your child has been murdered with a gang out there because your child was part of the gang. They're the same people who laugh at you when your child is 16 or 17 and she's having a baby because now she's pregnant because you're never home. They're the same people who laugh at you when your child fails in their life. They'll laugh at you, forgetting that the time you're supposed to spend with your children, you actually gave it to them, so that they can go to school as well, so they can live in a better house. So as diaspora, you need to balance. Check. It's called check and balance. It's for my children. It's not for my mom, my dad, or my sister, my brother, or the whole Kisumu village where I come from. No, it's for your children first. So if there's anything left over, then it's for your parents. Your parents are second. If there's anything left over, then it's for your parents. If anything left over, then it's for your siblings and uncles and all those so many people who go and have children. How can somebody have like 10 children and then it's your responsibility to train those children? Were you there when they were making those babies? Come on, Benjamin. We need to wake up. I mean, people need to wake up.
Priority is your child. Number one
It's
priority
the
is your child.
children.
Number two
It's the-
priority is your child.
Exactly. Your children are your priority. You know, it happens to every single person who goes to diaspora. You start sending money until you see Madarao coming, until you see that.
Or you start relationship like the ladies who follow my Meet and Mingle show. They are single mothers, left kids at home, and then now they have met a boyfriend, and this boyfriend is taking all the money again.
Boyfriend will never take my money. Boyfriend will never take my money. Your children are your priority. But that's what we don't realize. And I think, Benjamin, you need to do more of those shows and talk to people. You know, today,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring the woman in my show. And she was in America, a woman who was hit by a hammer and her brain scattered. But by God's grace, I don't know how that woman survived it.
Oh my goodness.
The
Domestic
husband
violence.
had a gun. Yeah. The man had a gun and the man went to shoot her and the gun, he locked. He shot and he locked. The gun locked. So he took a hammer and hit her with the hammer. So I was talking to her today and I said, but why didn't you leave? Why couldn't you leave? And she said, in her life, and I was really shocked. She said she never saw anybody killed in a domestic violence. So she didn't think that the man would kill her because the man kept on saying, I'll kill you one day, I'll kill you one day. She thought, this man is just saying this. Nobody has ever been killed in domestic violence. And I said, that is why we need to create awareness. That's why we need to talk about these things. So if there's somebody who's never heard about it, can now hear it. So it's the same thing, Benjamin, I'm telling you. If you have all these shows and you're reaching so many people, somebody who's never heard that, so I can actually just work and look after my children and don't look after the whole village and my life is still okay. I don't have a curse in the Bible because what they use is God will curse you if you don't
support them. They will curse you and your children will suffer the more.
So people are scared.
Yes.
But if people see these shows and realize, so that's not true. Okay, so let me start looking after my children, because the same people will laugh at you. They'll mock you when those children are being rebellious because you are not there for them.
It's a very powerful way to summarize this show as a parent, please. As I keep on saying this in my show sometimes when I'm doing my talks. I'm like, if you are a single parent, your priority should be your child. Not even dating. I know it's so hard. Sometimes you feel lonely. Sometimes you just need somebody by you. It's normal. It's the nature for human beings. But let it not be a priority. Everything that you're doing, the little money that you're making, the little money that you're... I did a show, by the way, you reminded me. I did a talk about choosing who to support. And then I was saying about the same things that you just mentioned, that there are family members who will take advantage of you because you're so kind, you're supporting them. Somebody has given birth to 2-3 children and then confidently, with all audacity, leaves the responsibility for you.
Exactly.
Because you're abroad, and then you accept it, and then you do it. So if you don't do it, you feel guilty. Yeah. So you balance, you're like, oh my goodness, my kid should have gone to group of schools, nice school, if I paid this amount of money. But now that I have the other children to support, let my children go to a middle school, just a kawaida school, a normal school, so that I can also support this one. And then the father or the parents or these kids are actually taking advantage of you. Even the parents are taking advantage of you. They are pushing you to the corner to support them, to take, and they made mistakes, you know. They could have saved money, or they still can work if they really want to work and get their money, so that you don't work so hard and be absent or away from your children.
Exactly.
Yeah. The last bit, Lydia, before we go, is about observing. I believe in observing the changes in your child. And even as teachers, we try to observe what is going on in some students. They were active in class, or they liked playing sports, and all of a sudden they lose interest, you know?
Yeah.
So what would you like to tell a parent about observing the changes in your child? If they begin isolating themselves, if they don't
Yes.
want to do the thing they wanted to do, should a parent be worried something is wrong?
Yes, I mean that is a worrying factor. That is a worrying factor. You need to, because if you know your children and you know, oh, my child likes doing this, and then all of a sudden they don't want to do it anymore. You need to start checking why are they not. And then also, if you talk about it, let's say they were doing football example, and something really bad happened to them there. Maybe they were molested, they were this, and anytime you call football, you see their reaction. You know something is wrong. And now probably they don't want to tell you what is wrong. So sometimes, as well as a parent, you need to allow your children to have a favorite auntie or a favorite uncle that they can actually feel free, because sometimes the children don't want to talk to you. They don't want to tell you this deep secret, but they can tell their auntie. But even if their auntie tells you, don't come and tell them, oh, you told that, because then they'll never tell auntie something again.
Or
So
they
if
can, or you can look for mental health professionals to try
Yes.
and talk with your child.
With your child,
Yes.
or counselors, something like that. But you need to see a change in your child. But some children, it's hard to see it because they're just talkative and loud. So it's hard for you to see it. But if you're a parent who has this child who's probably so bubbly, and then all of a sudden they're going down, you really need to, that's a factor that you need to check and say, what's wrong with you? But don't ask what's wrong with you, because
Don't be
my children
judgmental.
they'll be judgmental, because you've judged it already that something is wrong with me. What do you mean
Uh-huh.
something is wrong with you? Okay, so you and it's like I said, it's not what you say, it's the way you say it. We are saying the same thing. I want to find out what's wrong with my child, but it's the way you say it.
What is wrong with you? And you can ask.
What is wrong with
I've
you?
noticed you liked playing basketball, but these days you don't play so much. Uh-huh.
Yes, sweetie,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
What's
with you?
going
Because
on?
I don't
Uh-huh.
care. You like basketball, and something as well that you should always say is, "Are you okay, honey? Are you okay?"
Are you
Because
okay?
that is asking. But when you just assumption something is wrong, what's wrong with you? And that's what as parents we like doing. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you today? And then they'll ask you why. But you're not smiling, because you don't. Because I know I do a lot of that, and every time I do that, I'll remember. I've been told already. I've been told, don't say that, because that's assumption. Because I always ask my children, what can I do better? What can I? So when they say that, I'm thinking, okay. But the first thing you see, Benjamin, is what's wrong with you? They'll just say, oh, sweetie, are you okay, honey? We've said the
When
same
you ask
thing.
what is wrong with you, then they say nothing. Is
Yeah,
wrong.
they'll say nothing.
But that question, are you okay? I really like it. Are you okay? Are you okay today? Yeah, I think that's a nice question. Are you okay? If they say I'm not okay, then you can try to find out why they are not okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you begin talking, or see how much you can help the kid.
Yes.
Yeah. So Lydia, I would like us to finish there. Thank you so much.
Hey,
I
thank
think we have
you.
covered all the areas as a parent who was watching us, or as a new subscriber or a new viewer here on YouTube. Remember, we always do this show on Mondays, me together with Lydia, on my Facebook page, and also here on YouTube. So if you're watching for the first time, I hope that you subscribe. And Lydia, you can always find her on Facebook, as you can see there on the screen, Lydia Tett Olet. It is her name. And she's always with us here every Monday, same time like this. So tune in again next Monday to hear more talks about parenting, and especially how to raise children and teenagers, and even you as a new parent or a parent to be. We are always here every Monday around this time doing this talk. So Lydia, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers. And
Yes.
I know even the people will watch this later. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you so much. And like we always say, there's no rule book for parenting, but there's guidelines. So just take the guidelines and try and implement it in your parenting. And one day come back and tell us, me and Benjamin, how everything went.
Thank you so much,
And
Lydia.
listen to understand.
Listen to
not
understand, not to respond.
Yeah.
And be patient.
Yes, be patient.
Wow. Okay, Lydia, let's do this again next Monday. Thank you so much, and I
Yes.
wish you a beautiful evening.
Thank you, you too.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for being with us up to now. And from me, Benjamin, together with Lydia, I wish you a fantastic day, evening, or night and thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and to share this video to a friend or another parent that you know out there. Thank you, and see you next Monday. Take care. Goodbye.